Hi guys! So I recently crocheted the viral 6-day star blanket and I'm going to tell you all about it and show you my blanket. I took pictures on the first day and then I took a video on the end of each day showing how far I got. So I'm going to insert the clips of those as we get to it. So I have the finished blanket here to show you. So it's going to be kind of hard to show the whole thing. I'm going to try to get some pictures of it as well to insert, but here is the star blanket. It is so big, I can't really show the whole thing at once, but that is it. So this is actually a free pattern that I found. I had seen a lot of other YouTubers trying this pattern out, and so I wanted to try it. And so the pattern is by Betty McKnit, and it's free on their blog. It's actually pretty easy to make. It's I think like 6 repeat rounds, so it's not each round is the same, but they're not all completely different either. They're pretty similar. So it's really cool. It's got a lot of texture in it because it's got some double crochet rows, some single crochet, and then some of this like granny stitch as well. And then around the edge of it is the reverse single crochet or the crab stitch. And I love how this stitch looks, but I don't really love making it. And it took an hour just to do this last row for the border. But it's mostly just because you're like going backwards. You're like crocheting backwards and it's really weird and awkward, and my hand was getting kind of sore just because it was like a little different than usually crocheting. But I do love how that ended the blanket. I really do love it. And so I used up mostly scrap yarn for this blanket. I started with this pink because I had this yarn around for a while and I love how it looks, but I don't love the texture of it. So I kind of just wanted to get rid of it, and it was a really big skein and I just wanted to use it up and get rid of it. And then it ended up I didn't even use the whole skein for this project, so I still have some of it left. That color is Red Heart Super Saver Speckled in Bubblegum. And I had a lot of questions about that on Instagram and TikTok. So that's what that color is. And then the rest of this was just different colors of scrap yarn that I had left over from other projects, mostly from like knit pumpkins and knit beanies from last year. So all the rest of the yarn that I used in it is the I Love This yarn from Hobby Lobby. And that is my favorite. And I really, when I switched from doing this whole center with this color and when I switched to the white, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so much easier to work with. And I knew that I liked that yarn better, but after working with this for so long and switching to that, it was like an immediate switch to so much easier to work with. So still big fan of I Love This yarn. It is the softest and easiest for me to work with. In the pattern, they said that you can go up a hook size if it starts to curl. So when I started with a 5.5 hook in the center, and then I think once I started getting like to the white, it was starting to curl. So I switched to a 6 hook, and I used the 6 for the rest of it because it didn't really curl much after that. So most of it's made with the 6, but the beginning I did start with the 5.5. So whenever I was making this, I was like, oh my gosh, it looks like a sugar cookie, because when I first started, and it was, I'll insert a picture of it too, but it was like just the pink and the white and the brown. I was like, it looks like a sugar cookie with the icing and the sprinkles. And I kind of wanted to continue that, but I didn't have like all the right colors or enough of the right colors, so I had to add in some other colors too. And I wanted to do more of this orange, but I didn't have enough, so I only got 2 rows of the orange, but I think it still looks pretty good. And when I started originally, I was planning on working multiple rounds before changing colors, so that's what I did in the center I worked like a bunch of rounds for the center, and then I did like 3 with the white and then 3 with this, and I think 2 or 3 with the gray. And I wanted to continue that around, but I realized that the further you go around, the more stitches it is and the more yarn it takes, and I wasn't sure if I had enough yarn to keep doing multiple rounds like that and also have enough to also get the color further down in the blanket, because I wanted the colors to be spread out throughout the blanket. So I started with multiple rows, and then I ended up most of them at the end. I just did a single row for each color because I wasn't sure if I would have enough yarn, because I had a lot of little scrap balls of yarn. But I didn't have to like frog anything. I actually did have enough for each of the rows that I needed. I think at one point I had to frog like a little section of a round because I did it wrong, but that was it. So I think this project went pretty well for me, and this is actually the first blanket that I have fully completed. This is not the first blanket I have tried to make. I have tried to make I think 2 others in the past. One I almost finished and I still have it, but I haven't finished it. And then the second one that I tried to make was a temperature blanket, and I did good for a couple months, maybe 3 or 4 months, and then I put it down and I never went back to it. So I don't think I'm gonna go back to that one because it was just like single crocheting across, and that's just a lot of work for a temperature blanket. Like, you have to crochet it the entire year, and that was the thing that got me, is like I committed to crocheting it every day for the entire year, but I could not do it. So that's why I really like this blanket, because you're only committing to like 6 days to do it, and 6-day commitment is a lot easier than a whole year commitment. So that's why I really like this one. And I've actually started making a second one already. Like, the day I finished this, I went to Joann's and bought some more yarn to make a second one. The second one I'm doing different because I'm not using scrap yarn. So if you want to see that video in the future, make sure you're subscribed so you'll be able to see that one, because it is going to look a lot different than this one because I'm not using scrap yarn. So I really wanted to know how long it would take me to make this blanket. So I kept track of my time each day. I put a timer on my phone, and if I stopped, took a break, get a snack or whatever, I would pause the timer and then start it again once I got started. So I kept track of each day, how long it took, and then I added all the totals together as well. If you've seen my shorts or my TikToks or my Instagram reels, you've probably seen some of the days that I already posted with the times, but I'm gonna go a little more in depth into that now, and then I'll also add the video in of how far I got each day. So the first day of the star blanket, I crocheted for 3 hours and 20 minutes. And this day we were traveling, so I was in the car, and I love crocheting in the car, so I got quite a bit done. We had, I think, like 4 hours in the car, so I crocheted during most of that time. And so I have some videos of that, of crocheting in the car for the first day. And after the first day, I couldn't really do videos crocheting it like that, because it was so big that you couldn't really see it. So I didn't really get videos of me crocheting it, but I did get the videos after each day to show how far I got on it. So for day 2, I crocheted for 2 hours and 58 minutes, so almost 3 hours for that day. And I feel like I got a pretty decent amount done on that day. And then for day 3, I crocheted for 3 hours. So at that point, that was like 9 hours in so far for this project. And then for day 4, I crocheted for 3 hours and 15 minutes. So at this point, I was pretty much crocheting almost 3 hours a day, around 3 hours a day. And I thought I was gonna get it done in time, but as you're going around each row is getting longer and you're getting more stitches, so each round was taking more time and more time as I went to make it. So I was kind of wishing that I would have done more rounds in the first few days because the rounds were quicker to make, because as the days were going, it just felt like each row was taking longer and longer to make. And then for day 5, I crocheted for 3 hours and 34 minutes. And at this point, it was 16 hours into the project. And then on that day, I only got 5 rounds done, where I was trying to get at least 6 rounds done. The repeat is 6 rounds, so I was trying to get at least 6 rounds done each day, if not more. Some of the days I was trying to get more than that, but this day I was not feeling it. My wrists were getting sore, and so I did not get the 6 rounds done. So for the next day, I knew I was going to need to work on it more. For day 6, I crocheted for 6 hours and 29 minutes. That day, I stayed home and I watched 3 movies and crocheted during all 3 of them. So that's why I got so much done, is I was just so into the movies and crocheting that I was just like in a momentum, and I just kept going and kept going. And I'm glad that I got that much done that day, because I would not have been able to finish as quickly if I didn't get that much done. Like, if I had only done the 3 hours that day as I had been doing before, it would have taken me an extra day to finish this project. Although I crocheted 6.5 hours that day, I only got 7 rounds done, so I only got 1 more round done than I was supposed to, but like I said, it's because there's more stitches the further you go. So I did not get the project finished in the 6 days. Although it is called the 6-day star blanket, it is possible to get it done in 6 days, but I didn't. I got mine done on the 7th day. So all that I had left to do for the 7th day was the border, which was just 1 row, and then weave in all the ends. So I took a video of all the ends to weave in, because weaving in the ends is just my least favorite part. So I had to get a video of that to show you just how many ends there were to weave in. And that was another reason why I, in the beginning, wanted to do multiple rounds before changing colors, is because I didn't want so many ends to weave in, but I still ended up with quite a few. So on day 7, I spent 1 hour and 4 minutes crocheting the border. So like I said, that was just 1 row around, and then once the border was done, all I had to do was weave in the ends, and that took me 2 hours and 23 minutes. So the total for the day was 3 hours and 27 minutes, and the total for the entire blanket was 25 hours and 50 minutes. So almost 26 hours to crochet the blanket, and I feel like that was pretty good for a blanket. I'm glad that I got it done within 7 days, although it wasn't done on the 6th day. 1 extra day was pretty good to me. And I did also look at the website, and there's different variations of the pattern and different blankets that are 6-day blankets that are not star blankets as well. So I am trying a different one of her patterns now, and then in the future I might try some more. But I also have a lot of market prepping that I need to get done, because I have fall markets coming up soon. So I'm thinking I need to take a pause from the blankets to work on some market prep for my fall markets, but I'm sure eventually I will get around to trying some more of her patterns as well. But like I said, I have started another one. I'm not going to show it in this video. I'm going to wait for my next video to show that one. But if you want to see like a sneak peek of it, I will probably post it as like a reel or a TikTok or like a YouTube short probably as well. So we'll see. I don't know how soon I'll get that one done, because I am going to take at least a few days of a break to work on market prep. So I might not start posting it until I'm like almost done with it, because that way I don't want you guys to have to like wait to see the next days. I'd rather be able to post them all in a row, but we'll see. I hope you guys liked the video, and I hope you guys like my blanket. Let me know in the comments if you like the colors that I used for it, and let me know if you've tried this pattern or if you're wanting to try it out. I would recommend the pattern. I really did enjoy making this blanket. Like I said, I'm already moved on to my second one, like the day after I finished this one. So you can tell I definitely like it. But I do want to know if you guys have made it before, and if you have, comment below and I want to check out yours too. Thanks for watching.